In this video, we will be discussing list indexing, strings, and palindrome detection in MATLAB and, Python. And so what we're going to be doing is diving a little bit deeper into what these string variables are. And to give an example on that, let's declare some kind of string s, for instance. And if we wanted to retrieve what the third character in string is, we would get it by saying s open square bracket 2 close square bracket. And the reason we have to do this is because in Python our list indexing is 0 index, and that is to say that if we typed in s open bracket 0 close bracket, we are returned s. And so what I'm going to do in this IDE PyCharm is we're going to write some code to ask the user for an input and tell them if it's a palindrome. And so a palindrome is a word that reads the same backwards as it does forwards. And this example is from practicepython.org. And so what we'll do is we'll start out by saying string s gets input, tell me a word, I'll tell you if it's a palindrome. So we've prompted the user for input, we've stored their input in the variable string s, and what we're going to do next is determine the length of string s in order to, for the next step in processing and determining if it's a palindrome. So length of s returns the length of the given string. And then what we're going to do is another bit fancy array or list operation in Python, and that is we're going to take the string s and then essentially invert it, is what I call it, but this sp will be the palindrome of whatever our variable s was. And so we're going to use a bit of a fancy operator, not curly brackets but closed brackets, and we will start at element n. We will work our way down to element 0, and you can also leave it blank, which is what I'll do. You'll have a colon, you'll have a second colon, and you'll have a -1. And so this sp is the palindrome of s. And so now all we need to do is compare the two strings. If s is equal to sp, we're going to print s is a palindrome, if I can spell it, and else we're going to print s is not a palindrome. So now that we've whipped this code up, we're going to run the program, and we are going to type in the word dad, for instance, and it successfully recognized that dad is a palindrome. What we now can try is typing in a word we know is not a palindrome, for instance, Vincent, and it successfully recognizes that Vincent is not a palindrome. And so this kind of is a very quick wrap up on how we can use the list indexing, strings, and palindromes in Python, as well as the conditions and how we access elements in these strings or any kind of list, because lists can be composed of elements other than characters, or chars as they're referred to in computer science lingo. And a challenge would be to determine a way that we can determine or use this same code but with capital and lowercase letters. And so if we tried the word dad, of course in all caps it will work. However, if we try the word dad with the first only the first letter being uppercase, it does not work correctly. And so a challenge here is to figure out how we can control this. And so this concludes it. I hope you guys find it useful. Let me know if you have any questions, and thanks for watching.